The Nile's mighty civilization, Egypt's ancient power. The ancient Egyptian civilization, often referred to as the Nile's mighty civilization, stands as one of the most remarkable and enduring societies in human history. Anchored by the lifeblood of the Nile River, Egypt's ancient power flourished for thousands of years, leaving an indelible mark on the world with its grand monuments, complex religious beliefs, sophisticated governance, and unparalleled achievements in art, science, and architecture. This essay delves into the key aspects of Egypt's ancient power, tracing its rise along the fertile banks of the Nile and exploring the factors that contributed to its lasting legacy. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt. The Nile River, the longest river in the world, was the foundation of Egypt's mighty civilization. Its annual floods deposited nutrient-rich silt along the banks, creating a fertile agricultural landscape that supported the growth of crops like wheat and barley. The Nile's predictable flooding cycle allowed for the development of a stable food supply, which in turn supported population growth and the emergence of complex society. The Nile was not only a source of sustenance, but also a means of transportation and communication. It connected Upper and Lower Egypt, facilitating trade and the movement of people, ideas, and goods. The river also held deep religious significance, symbolizing life, fertility, and the divine. The ancient Egyptians believed that the Nile was a gift from the gods, and its waters were often depicted in religious texts and rituals. The rise of the Pharaohs. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE marked the beginning of the dynastic period and the rise of the pharaohs, Egypt's god-kings. The first pharaoh, Narmer, also known as Menes, is credited with unifying the two lands and establishing the capital at Memphis. This unification laid the foundation for the Old Kingdom, a period of great prosperity and monumental construction. Pharaohs were not only political rulers but also religious leaders, seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people. Their divine status was reflected in the construction of elaborate tombs and temples, the most famous of which are the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, remains one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt and a testament to the power and resources commanded by the pharaohs. Religion and mythology. Religion played a central role in ancient Egyptian life, permeating every aspect of society. The Egyptians worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each associated with different aspects of life, nature, and the afterlife. The sun god Ra, the creator god Adam, the mother goddess Isis, and the god of the afterlife Osiris were among the most important deities. The concept of Ma'at, representing truth, balance, and cosmic order, was fundamental to Egyptian religion. Pharaohs were seen as the earthly embodiment of Ma'at, responsible for maintaining harmony in the land. Religious beliefs were closely tied to the afterlife, with elaborate rituals and burial practices designed to ensure a successful journey to the afterlife. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and prayers, was placed in tombs to guide the deceased through the underworld. The belief in an eternal afterlife led to the practice of mummification, which preserved the body for its journey to the afterlife. Tombs were filled with goods, food, and treasures to provide for the deceased in the afterlife. Architectural marvels. Ancient Egypt is renowned for its architectural achievements, which remain some of the most impressive and enduring structures in the world. The most famous of these are the pyramids, built as tombs for the pharaohs. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest of the pyramids, is a testament to the engineering prowess of the ancient Egyptians. It was originally built with around 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, and stood at a height of 146 meters. Temples were another significant aspect of Egyptian architecture. The Temple of Karnak, dedicated to the god Ammonius, is one of the largest religious complexes ever constructed. It was built over several centuries and features massive columns, intricately carved walls, and towering obelisks. The temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of economic and administrative activity. The Valley of the Kings, located near Luxor, is another architectural marvel. It served as the burial ground for pharaohs and nobles of the New Kingdom. The tombs, carved into the mountainside, were filled with treasures and adorned with intricate paintings and hieroglyphics depicting scenes from the afterlife. Society and economy. Ancient Egyptian society was hierarchical, with the pharaoh at the top, followed by a class of nobles, priests, scribes, and artisans. The majority of the population were farmers, who worked the land and produced the food that sustained the civilization. The economy was based on agriculture, with the Nile providing the necessary water and fertile soil for crop cultivation. Trade was also an important aspect of the economy. Egypt traded goods such as gold, papyrus, linen, and grain with neighboring regions like Nubia, the Levant, and Mesopotamia. The trade networks extended as far as the Mediterranean and the Red Sea, bringing in exotic goods and materials, including timber, incense, and precious stones. The development of writing, particularly hieroglyphics, was a significant advancement in Egyptian society. Writing was used for religious texts, administrative records, and monumental inscriptions. The ability to record and preserve information contributed to the stability and continuity of Egyptian civilization over millennia. Military power and expansion. Egypt's ancient power was also characterized by its military prowess. The pharaohs maintained a standing army to protect the kingdom and expand its territory. During the New Kingdom, Egypt reached the height of its military power, engaging in campaigns in Nubia, the Levant, and beyond. Pharaohs like Thutmose III and Ramses II are remembered as great military leaders who expanded Egypt's borders and secured its wealth and influence. The Battle of Kadesh, fought between Ramses II and the Hittites, is one of the most famous battles in ancient history. Though the battle ended in a stalemate, it led to the signing of one of the earliest known peace treaties. Egypt's military power was also reflected in its fortifications and military infrastructure. Fortresses were built along the Nile and in strategic locations to protect against invasions and control trade routes. The army was composed of professional soldiers, charioteers, and conscripted peasants, all equipped with weapons like bows, spears, and swords. Decline and legacy. Despite its enduring power, ancient Egypt eventually went into decline. The New Kingdom was followed by a period of instability known as the Third Intermediate Period, during which Egypt was divided and weakened by internal strife and invasions from foreign powers. The arrival of the Assyrians, Persians, and finally the Greeks under Alexander the Great marked the end of Egypt's independence. However, the legacy of Egypt's mighty civilization continued to influence subsequent cultures and civilizations. The Greeks, particularly under the Ptolemaic dynasty, adopted and adapted many aspects of Egyptian culture, including religion and architecture. The Roman Empire also admired and emulated Egypt's grandeur, with Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh, becoming a symbol of Egypt's enduring allure. The preservation of Egypt's monuments, texts, and artifacts has allowed modern scholars to study and appreciate the richness of its civilization. The decipherment of hieroglyphics by Jean-François Champollion in the 19th century opened the door to understanding Egypt's history and culture in greater detail. The Nile's mighty civilization, Egypt's ancient power, encapsulates the grandeur and complexity of a civilization that has fascinated people for millennia. From the fertile banks of the Nile to the monumental pyramids and temples, ancient Egypt represents a pinnacle of human achievement. Its legacy continues to inspire and captivate, offering insights into the capabilities and aspirations of one of history's most remarkable civilizations.